Welcome to the Empower Women Show with Jane Trimble, the show that elevates and empowers women in the community by sharing their story and showcasing their business. With me in the studio today is Monique Simair, a scientist and entrepreneur from Saskatoon. Hello, Monique.
Hello, thanks for having me, Jane.
You're so welcome. I am really excited to have you on the show today and hear your story and about what you do. So why don't we start with that? Who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
Oh, that's a loaded question to start with. Who am I? Oh gosh. Okay. I'll give a very brief version because that's a hard one to actually answer in a concise way. I am someone who's deeply, passionately curious about all things.
Love it.
And I am an innovator.
Yes.
In a lot of different ways, someone who connects. And also, in most places I end up in my life, I tend to be a little bit of an outlier or a misfit.
Yes.
So I think those three things together, I can be a little disruptive too. So that's kind of who I am.
This is brilliant. I love those words.
I also always see the best in people. I'm always seeing the possibility rather than the current state, which can be a bit of a curse sometimes.
Yes, I agree. This is extraordinary. They all sound like superpowers to me. Were you always like that, or was this something that maybe your parents taught you, or is it innate?
Oh, I remember my parents coming home from parent-teacher interviews in grade 3.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, your teacher said you'd have a lot more friends if you didn't have such high standards. So I think I've always been a little bit weird.
Yeah.
I've always been able to fit in almost anywhere, but never quite have a home in that place, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Do you think you were born to have a different opinion on things?
I don't know if so much my opinion is different, more so than I question things maybe a bit more. Or see connections that other people don't, like, you know, two very different things, and see how they're connected.
Wow.
That pattern recognition.
Pattern recognition. Yeah. Can you share where in your life you've seen pattern recognition?
Oh gosh. Okay, that's probably my scientist hat on me too here.
Yes.
So, well, for example, you can see trends happening in one industry.
Yes.
And you wonder, why on earth are they not doing it over here?
Right.
So just taking something from one place and moving it laterally. I've done that in technologies I've developed. I've seen things happening in medicine or food and said, why aren't we doing that in environment? So, you know, kind of just seeing those things, I was like, well, that's the same, it's different, but why aren't we doing it?
So cool. Yeah. What did you recognize in food that you thought should be in the environment?
Oh, so that was one of the first technologies I commercialized where I'd actually been hired by the university to do a postdoctoral fellowship. So I'd finished my PhD and they wanted someone to do the study, and I looked and I said, well, this should be a standard operating procedure, because when I look at what's being done in lab medicine, that would just be a duh.
Yeah.
But they wanted me to spend 2 years doing it.
Yeah.
And I said, this should be something that we just send out to a lab and do like a 1-day turnaround.
Yeah.
And so that's what I focused on in my first business, is commercializing that type of technology for the environment, where you could send a sample of dirt or water and we could tell you every bacteria that's in it based on its DNA.
Wow.
And just turn that out as a fee for service. And that was in 2012. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're very young right now, so in 2012 you must be really young.
Oh
so
no, I'm in my 40s.
I'm in my 40s, we're still young.
We're so young, so young. 40s are great, aren't they?
40s are amazing.
Yeah.
I've never felt so good, have you?
No, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like actually excited to be like, okay, remember like 20s seemed a certain way and then 30s seemed a certain way, and like 40s, I'm like, I can't wait for 50s and 60s.
Oh.
It's just gonna be like,
I know.
Awesome.
I know.
You know? And the cool thing too is like, all the people I've met along the way, they're doing so many cool things.
Yes.
So just by default of having gotten older, I know all these cool people who are doing so many crazy things, and they really pursued it, you know? So all of a sudden I know like someone who's an entrepreneur here, or someone who's a doctor there, or someone who's a CEO there, and they weren't when we first met, but they've done so many cool things, and it's just exciting to see the journeys.
It is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I know, I love seeing how people turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. What are you working on now that's inspiring you?
Oh, one of the things that I find occupies a lot of space in my mind is, okay, so I think of really normal things, okay? So the main thing right now,
Hang on, you said
Yeah.
you were weird, but you think of normal things. I like those two.
No, I was
the
going to, you'll see
juxtapose of
just
those.
how non-normal these things
okay.
are, okay?
Yeah.
I should mention, I'm from Prince Albert. I didn't answer the second question. I'm from Prince Albert.
Oh, yes,
Saskatchewan.
exactly.
You can't spell paradise without PA.
No.
That's what we say up there.
I've never been, but I believe you.
Yep. It's actually quite gorgeous.
Is it?
Yeah, it
Okay.
really is. It's on the edge of the prairie to the forest. It's the gateway to the north. So
I love it.
yeah,
Very
but
cool.
I've been in Saskatoon for 25 years now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I doing now? It's I spend a lot of time thinking about why the Canadian society and our way of being here, we rank really, really low on innovation metrics
Okay.
globally compared to our global peers.
Okay.
And that in turn impacts our economy.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time thinking about, like, if we want to have a better society, we need a strong economy.
Yep.
And that requires innovation. Good lifestyle requires innovation. It requires advancement. So why is it that our society is adverse to some of those more innovative things? We're low on startup businesses. The growth of those startups is low compared to, for example, the United States or even some of our other peer countries. And so I think a lot on why that is and what we could do to change it to make society better.
This is amazing. Why do you think it is? Of course, I'm going to ask that.
If it was, I will put out, I think as a trained scientist, I think of a lot of things in terms of a theory or a hypothesis. So I'll state something,
Yeah.
but that's like a working thought. It's not like this is fact.
Right.
Okay? If it was so easy that these are facts,
Yeah.
it would all be fixed. Okay? So I also, as a scientist, I've always been someone who loved to debate concepts.
Yeah.
Not be argumentative, but I like to get down that curiosity. I want to understand why, to know the root cause of it. So I do debate things a lot. I'll debate myself even, or interrupt myself. But I think there's probably 5 reasons, and none of them are easy.
We've got 3 minutes, Monique. Can you sum it up?
Our early education system is structured for memorization rather than to develop questions.
Yes, love
It
it.
needs to be more questioning. Our post-secondary education system is split across too many different responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Our startup community is trying to emulate large centers rather than playing to our strengths of the small centers. Yes. Our taxation structure doesn't really reward innovation or startups.
Yeah.
And then also government and university procurement systems need to be reversed in order to support a startup community.
In what way?
So for example, 2 examples. One is, rather than saying I need 6 bolts that are of these dimensions, a procurement system could say I need a way to assemble this to that to get them to stay together.
Right.
So then someone can come up with a solution.
Yes.
Universities, rather than doing services that already exist out in business,
Yeah.
could contract those to businesses, thereby stimulating the economy rather than doing it internally. It would upgrade their level of science because they aren't doing routine things anymore.
Yeah.
And they would learn more about the business industry, about what's going on in there, and about where it could get improved. So that's just 2 examples.
Monique. I vote Monique for President, Prime Minister. Truly amazing. You have a remarkable brain. Like,
I enjoy thinking about these things. And then I try to find, where could I actually influence any of that? Where could I help it? Where, are there low-hanging fruit that could be a place for improvement? I also spend a lot of time thinking about redox theory and how electrons move. So, it's just all over the place. But
what do you think it is, just like even on a personal level, that makes, I think that, macro is often reflected just in the personal, and what is it that makes us reticent to change, making those changes that we need to make to advance, and become more innovative, especially as Canadians? Like, what is this allergy to change?
Change is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard. It's so easy to get cozy in a place.
Yeah.
And what we actually have to realize is everything is always changing. We're just talking about getting older. That's change.
Yeah.
It actually takes an immense amount of energy to stay stagnant in one place.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
So I think we put our energy into the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than putting our energy into stagnation, essentially, or stasis, if we put it into momentum, we could really get some inertia built up. We could get moving and get that. But I also think it's a narrative we tell ourselves in Canada about being safe. And, you know, this concept that being nice is maybe the enemy of being disruptive.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Right? But you can be nice and disruptive. And
yes.
you can be,
which you are.
well, I try to be.
You're very
but
nice.
Some people still think, you know, disruption is disruption, right?
Yeah.
That can be seen as rude. That can be seen as... So the way of going about it is difficult. But I also don't think we do a really good job of telling our own story here in Canada, and also in Saskatchewan especially. So farmers are incredibly innovative. And they're not captured on any of these innovation matrices and the rankings and stuff, because they're just solving their problems day to day and making things happen, making their own lives easier, sharing that amongst each other.
Yeah.
But we don't capture that anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Or replicate it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes recognize it as innovation.
Right?
Right?
Because they're just solving problems.
And also because we think of innovation like in the whole like Silicon Valley sense.
Yes.
And it must be some like venture capital backed something that's going to be like a bajillion times exit, rather than like small town, helping one another out, bootstrapping what you know, creating value and building.
Yeah.
And so it's a very different approach.
So I read in your bio that your parents were sort of a big influence on, you know, your early, you know, forming your curious nature, and they were artists, is that right?
Yeah, they became potters later in life, but they did like ceramic stuff, and which is, I mean, often it's the other way around, where you have like scientist parents and they're disappointed in their like artist child or something, and here my parents like, well, sure, if you want to be a scientist, I guess, you know, but no, they're actually very supportive in anything that I've done, or my brothers, but it really does. You think in different ways. Yeah. Like if you, some people who play instruments or speak multiple languages, I think the arts are similar to that, where you use different parts of your brain and you recognize people think differently and view things differently. Yeah. And there's no right or wrong in art, which is actually really fun. You can just create. Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, I love it. And I want to circle back with and just finish off with just your Outlier spirit and you know, the courage to be different. If there's somebody watching the show that has a similar kind of desire to be a disruptor, what kind of advice would you give to somebody, you know, younger that's starting out in their path?
Yeah, disruptor is one word. My dad always called me an instigator.
Yeah.
And that might be a better way of thinking of it, because I think the words we use impact how we then behave. Yep. So if we think of the word disruptor, which I'd say I am, especially in innovation and technology, but some people view that word negatively. Yeah. So, you know, trying to find a positive word you can associate with something you're proud of, so that you do that activity more. Yeah. I'd also say practice it. Yeah. Practice it in safe places with safe people. Yeah. It's a skill. Yeah. And anything can be overdone. Yeah. So figuring out where it serves you well and where maybe it doesn't. Yeah. That leans into that intense curiosity. I've definitely places where I've overdone disruption, or people didn't want improvement in an area, right? Yeah. And so just figuring that out, but finding safe places to test it out, surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, not echo chamber, but people who are willing to try stuff, right? And just get really used to failure. Love it. I try to find things I can fail at all the time. Oh. It's like a muscle, right? Like if you think of, many people are not great artists, myself included. So if I had to sit here and draw a picture of you, it would be horrendous, okay? I'd fail. But recognizing, hey, that's just not something I'm great at, that's okay. Yeah. Life goes on. Yeah. You know, we might have a laugh about it, but it's not gonna end the world. Yeah. And learning that over time, as kids, a lot of us have done sports or maybe music or different things like that where you had to compete and you learn you don't win all the time. Yeah. But we don't expose ourselves to that very much as adults. Right. Right? Yeah. So I try to find safe places to expose myself to that aspect of, well, I really sucked at that.
Yes. And laughing about it.
Oh, yeah. And doing with people and sharing those little things that you sucked at, the things that you failed at, and sharing those stories. And
humor seems to be something that is coming through as something that is true to you or in your nature.
Hope is like true to my core, and that pairs with humor.
Yeah.
So, if you hope tomorrow's going to be better, or, and you think you can do something about the next thing, it's easy to find stuff funny as you go through it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more fun.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us what you do, who you are, and what makes you so brilliant. That's what makes me really excited, is to find out who you are and get to know you. So
well, thank you very much, Jane. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, thank you. Until next time, queens belong on thrones. Let's put them there. Effective social media marketing is so much more than posting pretty pictures on Instagram and Facebook. Undercover Creators are a female-owned social media marketing company in Saskatoon. Find them at undercover-creators.com. The Empower Women Show merch available at theempowerwomenshow.ca.